Good old Shepard Smith on Fox News just shredded Donald Trump yesterday, saying quite simply, Trump is not telling you the truth. And of course, Trump is furious over this and is now saying it's time for Republicans and right-wingers to move on from Fox News to something else. I've been predicting that. I'll talk to you about that a little bit later on today. Donald Trump, of course, as I told you earlier on in the show, panicking about the border wall. I told you earlier, he is now telling officials, break the law, do whatever you need to do, start seizing land, start appropriating funds, build the damn wall, and I will pardon you. He's also lying by saying he's building the wall, which is simply not true. So in this clip that I'm going to show you some excerpts of, Shep Smith is doing multiple fact checks. He is one of the few sort of occasional voices of reason on Fox News. It's no big accomplishment. It's no big praise. It's merely, listen, every once in a while, Shep Smith and sometimes Chris Wallace and one time Neil Cavuto just tell the truth on Fox News. And it's notable because it's so infrequent that it takes place. Here is Shep Smith starting to just very clearly say what Donald Trump is telling you is not true.
As Dorian appears ready to skirt by the American territory of Puerto Rico, if not hit somewhere around San Juan, President Trump is calling the island one of the most corrupt places on earth. He added that, by the way, he's the best thing that ever happened to Puerto Rico. Those clearly are opinions as opposed to facts.
So there's something actually brilliant about this that I want to talk about. Shep Smith is sort of being snarky by saying this is an opinion and not a fact. Like in the ideal world, people would understand that when you look at a tweet from the president, this is the perspective, this is the point of view, this is the opinion of the president. That's it. It might contain accuracies, it might contain inaccuracies. But it's not just snark on Fox News. It's actually extremely relevant that Shepard Smith is saying that's an opinion and not a fact, because this is Fox News and we have to think about the Fox News audience and that this is a Fox News anchor. Fox News has made a business out of blurring the lines between news and opinion. We've talked many times about this. Fox News will often stand behind this idea that we may have a right-wing bent on our opinion programs, but our news programming is just news. And of course, there is no just news programming on Fox News that is not ideologically right-wing. And they are notorious for deliberately confusing its low information audience about what is a news report and what is an opinion. And can you tell from the way it looks? Can you tell from the language that's being used? How is it that you can tell? The whole point of Fox News is they blur the lines so that their audience can't tell the difference. So to you and me, when Shep Smith says this is an opinion, not a fact, we see it as kind of being clever or snarky or making a joke. There are tons of people in Fox News's audience that do not understand the difference between news and opinion, and they believe that everything Fox News says is simply reporting a fact. They believe that everything Donald Trump tweets is a fact. So it's actually very clever of Shep Smith to point this out because of the Fox News audience. On any other channel, it would be like, yeah, we know that. Let's continue.
The president also repeating his false claim about the aid that Puerto Rico has received. Here's his tweet from yesterday. Wow, yet another big storm heading to Puerto Rico. Will it ever end? Congress approved $92 billion for Puerto Rico last year, an all-time record of its kind for anywhere. That is decidedly not true. We checked with sources, including the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, and the latest numbers show that as of the end of June, the federal government has allocated $42.7 billion for Puerto Rico.
Shep Smith has to talk like a teacher talks to a first grader. Do you know the difference between a lie and the truth? This is an example of something that is not true. It's truly amazing that whenever a Fox News host has to stop the disinformation narratives that they perpetuate, suddenly they have to talk like they're speaking to a child, or I guess to an adult that's severely cognitively or ideologically limited. Okay, and then on to the actual part about the wall.
An hour ago, he tweeted that the wall is going up very fast despite obstruction by Democrats. And today, the Washington Post reports the president is telling his aides to use, quote, eminent domain to seize private land and ignore environmental laws. And that he told senior aides that if he doesn't get it done, it would be embarrassing. And when staffers explained that some of his requests would require them to break the law, the paper reports he responded that if anybody gets in trouble, quote, "Don't worry, I'll pardon you." The Post reports one official told the Washington Post that the president was joking. And just moments ago, the president tweeted that the report is, as he put it, fake news. But the president also said in the tweet that the wall is going up rapidly. It is not. As we just reported, there is no new wall.
Once again, Shep Smith has to explain to his viewers as if they are just little kids in the most basic terms and the most basic language possible. In some sense, I'm kind of imagining being being Shep Smith on Fox News. It must be frustrating if you're Shep Smith to realize that if you want to communicate truth to your viewers, if you want to puncture the echo chamber in which your viewers mostly live, you have to do the news equivalent of baby talk. In any case, good for Shep. Trump seems to be abandoning Fox News anyway, and maybe his supporters will as well. I want to talk about that next because this is a story that I predicted months ago, and it's continuing to grow.